on me, pull a Pluto move, take white. Like it be with in the city, keep that doggy in a 360 deal, pulling wood step, mind your business. Sports and Rodeo for the killer. Before I ate, I need a closet like a clothing store, I need a cash register. Pump the gas or something. Or the TK ones on that, put confetti on it, catching slip. I gotta keep my so I won't go the longer. Not on fire drill. I got walked in, that's my twin Balenciagos. Talking about on his neck, he tattled on me. Won't believe this hoodie 1500 without no logo. Been a little humble, having ganger on it. I ain't never had before, but I feel like I'm praying for him. She ever waiting for me. Dr. Trench banging on me. When I hit the bank, they know me. I feel like they back on. This is not a fire drill. You better know that. Yeah, this is not a fire drill. This is the real thing. Yeah. Like it's normal. But I seen it where her man played the chorus. Wait a minute, UIP, an important person. My jeans, patch with zebra stripes, tigers and some horses. Bar, buddy, say I'm adorable. Paid him for like Harlem, drive business while we serve it. Said a week, he won't make it. Keep going, also was popping curtains. She put online, say she want a fluffy puddle. Yeah, I got her, no Amazon, search a slut. She got on both table person, feet look like bamboo. You know I'm a king, call me your majesty. She say I'm the man in her dream, I'm her fantasy. You know you ain't find nothing, boy stop asking. He might catch a little bro ballin', he price max. Ask you what's gonna be my Valentine, better look next year. Watch me, in this big blue, watch me. Only good, they cook. Watch me till, watch you drop the form with my kneecap. Before they close. Goodness, until my swag was good work. I gotta keep that boy my only good look. All the love go, I'm feeling like Snoop and Suge now. They act like it's hoodlum, no way, no kid look up to. Came up out that slums, but next house gon' have a buzz. Now you heard little cousin and they swing it like Alvin the Chipmunk. On my ass, I ain't do shit. I ain't say thank to my guys. Oh yeah, wanna hit trend up. Tired of stealing stuff. Tell them where you got it from. I need something for Father's Day. I need roses by the dust. I am not in competition. I blow your budget. Tony Brown, you DeMar DeRozan. This is not a fire drill. I'm out. Grandma. This is not a fire drill. She would say, and at the time he could you run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, you run it back.
Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah, what are we doing? Why are we talking on these computers? Well, and that finally happened. LeBron made his decision. He's going to Philadelphia 76. I don't know if everybody saw that coming. I don't know how we feel about it. 2 years, $8 million, chump change. John, I will start with you. How are we feeling about it?
Listen, I think this is the best possible chance for him to compete for a championship. I think it's the best roster, the best starting five that he kind of completes when you look at Maxey and BJ alongside Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid. And I think obviously it always comes down to health with Joel. We're always going to talk about his health. We're always going to talk about LeBron's age. But there's always going to be, two star level players on the floor at the same time. Throughout the 48-minute game. So I love Anthony Simons. I love the signing of Dean Wade now. They still have to beef up that bench and kind of get some more shooting, I think. But, man, on paper, looks good. I think Philly's going to really embrace him, obviously, taking a team-friendly deal. The guy's playing for a minimum. And I'm not one to tell a guy to take, a pay cut. But if anybody could probably financially afford it, it's LeBron James. But I think it's going to be a good spot for him. He can go in there, kind of be that point forward general, similar to his role with the Lakers the last couple of years. I think you mentor Jaylen Brown. I think he could just kind of be that glue guy, which is funny to say about LeBron James, and kind of connect the dots for all these players. But it's going to come down to Joel Embiid's health, in my opinion, for them to really come out of the East and really compete for a championship and match up with the OKCs and the San Antonios.
Yeah, Boogie, I don't know where you were when you heard the news, man, but were you thinking this? Were you happy with it? How do you feel about it?
Honestly, I like the decision. I think this was a strictly basketball decision as far as fit his opportunity to win another championship, compete in his last couple of years in the league. And I think he checked the boxes with the decision he ended up making. I think Philly was the perfect team, for everything he's looking for. Maybe outside of Minnesota, I thought he would have been a really good fit there as well. But I think, with this decision, I think he can teach this group how to win. He can help Embiid elevate to that next level. Maxey elevate. BJ Edgecombe is, he's coming along as a young guy in this league. He's getting a whirlwind of experience coming into his second year. And, you got LeBaron Fallon as well, who kind of got lost in the news with, LeBron signing, but he was their prize draft pick this year. So I like what Philly has done overall, when it came to this offseason. But, the icing on the cake is, signing a guy like LeBron James. And I think they're one or two in the East. I mean, as of right now, I may be going out on a limb saying that, but I'm pretty confident saying they, outside of New York, you have to respect because those are the defending champs. I don't see anybody else in the East that's really coming close.
Man, that starting lineup is legit. I can't help but think if LeBron was on this team during the playoffs, you don't lose these leads. I don't know. I'm excited to see what this is basketball wise. Now we're back in this position of sort of, what role is LeBron going to play? We did this with the Lakers, right? And we kind of felt foolish when it was all said and done because it was fine. But now he's really entering a star-studded starting lineup. So how do you see his role in that capacity?
I think this is a situation that he's 100% okay with accepting, as far as if he has to take the back seat, second option, third option, hell, on some nights it may be even a fourth option. Something we never thought we would see, next to LeBron James' name. But I think the starting five has that much talent at the end of the day. I agree with Chandler when it comes down to their health. If Embiid is unhealthy, it obviously decreases their chances at a title. But if they are healthy, this is a scary team overall. And like I said, we're talking about LeBron being a third, fourth option on the team. Just wild to even say out loud.
Yeah, listen, he just kind of did it in LA, right? Like he was fully comfortable and okay with being the third option technically behind Luka and Austin Reeves. But when those guys went down, which they missed a lot of time, LeBron was unreal as that number one option, carried them in the playoffs, advanced to the second round. Like he's a man of many hats, right? He's one of the more versatile players that we've ever seen. And I think at this point of his career, this decision was strictly about winning and competing for a championship, just improving this insane legacy that he's already created. So sure, some nights he's going to be the guy. He's going to have 30 plus points. Some nights you're going to see him have, a Draymond stat line where he's got 10, 8, and 7, and they win, and everyone eats and everyone's happy. So I think that's the luxury when you have this much talent, especially in that starting five, and an Anthony Simons who I think is going to be a favorite to win 6 Man of the Year preseason. Yeah. What a luxury to have where it can be any given night, it's someone different. And so, again, these guys are going to miss time. LeBron's 41 years old. He's not going to play 82 games. Joel Embiid, with his health history, he's not going to play 82 games, which I really like the signing of Hug Porty and the fact that they brought Bona back. Those two guys are going to be valuable. They need to take a look at DeMarcus Cousins if he wants to. But look, this team's going to be so balanced. This team's going to be so loaded with talent that any given night it could be someone else's night.
Can I ask that too, Boogie? Because by the way, I would love for Boogie to just yes, but anywho, I can dream. Do these two guys? Because you're right. Joel Embiid's going to miss time. We know that LeBron's going to want to and need miss time because we're all looking forward to May and June. Do they feel like there's a sigh of relief if you're one of those two guys that this team, the way it's built, like we don't have to feel like on the days where we load manage that we're letting everybody down, that it's built for that?
I think they did a great job of, kind of constructing a starting five and bench pieces to kind of carry them through, that regular season. They do have youth on their side as far as, what they did in the draft. They signed Anthony Simons. You have Maxey as your starter, who's coming off his all-star years, and you obviously have the champion in the finals MVP in Jaylen Brown. So you have more than enough to kind of carry you through that regular season. But the bonus would be getting through the regular season and then having LeBron James and Joel Embiid 100% healthy going to the playoffs, and that's when things really start to get interesting.
Yeah, and if I'm the front office of the Sixers, I'm not rushing Joel Embiid. I am putting him on minute restrictions. I am making sure that this roster, this team is complete come playoff times. I don't care if that's 25 minutes a night. I don't care if that's him playing 40 games. Like, I don't care, because this team whole and this team on paper is a contending roster. So I'm going to be extremely patient with Joel Embiid, obviously, which they're no stranger to doing that, but that's going to be key.
All right, 10 seconds left in the game. Chandler, what happens?
Yeah, see, again, I was thinking about that, and it's such a hard question because I think what I just said, depending on the night, it's going to be someone else's night. Jaylen Brown, I think, is going to be the head of the snake, but then Tyrese Maxey just put up an insane career year, and BJ Edcomb's obviously on the rise, and former MVP Joel Embiid, who when he's healthy is one of the most dominant players in the league. So I don't think there's a right answer for that. I think any night it could be someone else differently, but again, I think that's a luxury to have, and I think we're going to see more LeBron in that point forward role, getting these guys involved, fitting in. We saw how great he did that in LA, but when his number's called, he needs to be aggressive, no doubt. LeBron, he just averaged 20 and 6 and 6.
He's not a scorer, Chandler. He's not a scorer.
No, he's just the all-time leader.
I know, every time I think about it.
Yeah, so again, any given night can be someone different, but I think, if Joel's healthy, I think he's their best player, but I think Maxey and Brown probably average more points in the starting five.
It's got to be Brown, right? It's got to be Brown, Boogie.
I think it's a great problem to have. Like, you have that many options as far as who I can get called to show in the game. It's a great problem to have. It reminds me of that Dynasty Warriors team and this Clay stuff.
Friday, everybody. I hope all of you guys are having a great end to your week. I'm coming to you guys from Houston. I am in a hotel here for my brother's wedding. I was hoping LeBron would have made a decision a little bit earlier so that I could be nice and comfortable in my studio right now. But alas, he took his time, he made a decision, and he's going to the Philadelphia 76ers. An absolutely shocking outcome. I would have had this one fourth at highest in terms of likelihood. Obviously, all eyes were on Cleveland, Golden State, and Miami, but LeBron's going to be a Philadelphia 76er. Today, I really just want to have an instant reaction, first impressions. This is so out of left field for me. I know that was consistently on the list. Jackson and I were talking before we started recording how, like, obviously there was the Bob Myers appearance on the podcast, and Rich Hell was consistent that Philly was on the list. So I think it's just, for me personally, I have a really hard time envisioning LeBron going to Philly. So it just is a place that I haven't spent a ton of time mentally kind of like thinking about it. So again, we're going to do just an instant reaction, first impression stuff today. I want to talk about the fit questions. I want to talk about the LeBron talking about how he was thinking about retiring. I want to talk about where I think they stack in the East, just kind of first impressions. We'll talk a little bit about what potential trades could be on the horizon for them in terms of continuing to build out this team. And then tomorrow morning, what we'll do is we'll do like a more detailed, let me sleep on it today, and let me think about some things, and we'll put together a more, kind of second impressions type of a show tomorrow morning. You guys have to do it before we get started. Subscribe to the Hoops YouTube channel so you don't miss any more of our videos. We have a goal to get to 150,000 subs. So you guys could do us a huge favor by just scrolling down and hitting that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, like this video, sign up for post notifications. That helps us a lot. All right, let's talk some basketball. So again, this was kind of out of left field for me. LeBron ends up tweeting an explanation. He says, I thought I was done when the season ended. A very fascinating kind of look at how he was contemplating his basketball mortality there for a minute. I wasn't ready to announce it, and I knew I needed some time to really decide, but I was pretty sure I played my last game. I was honest at my last press conference when I said I needed to look at myself and decide, I still love this game. I still truly love this game, and I have more to give. The last few weeks have been really special. I've never been able to have no clue what to do. Take real time to just think. I've had an incredible few months with all the people I love trying to figure it all out. This is my last decision. I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What am I really playing for at this point? I still want to sacrifice. I still want to work. I still want to grind. I still want to compete to win and to have a chance at the feeling of winning another championship. I believe I can help make the Philadelphia 76ers a championship team, and I'm so excited to energize a new fan base and start this incredible journey one last time. Thank you, LA. Miami, I'll forever love. The Northeast, Ohio will always be home. And then some emojis. I thought the piece about the mortality piece was fascinating to me about this, because he went on that trip when he was celebrating the 2016 Cavs, and he talked about, I think Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye were talking about how, like, LeBron was still, like, clearly dieting and clearly, carrying around a big jug of water and still doing all the workouts and stuff. And I think one of the important details there is that, like, being one of the best basketball players of all time, if not the best, takes an enormous amount of work. Like, being a 41-year-old who still is a top 10 playoff player in the league takes an enormous amount of work. And I think he was just contemplating whether or not it was actually worth it for him to do it. And there's one thing that can drive that, and it's a love for the game, and combine that with his competitiveness and his desire to win, and here we are. We're going to get to watch LeBron James play basketball for at least one more season. It's a player option for that second season, so I think that's just there in case he wants to retire, and we're going to get to see LeBron with the Philadelphia 76ers. So let's dig in a little bit to the fit, because there were some reasons why I didn't mentally kind of enter the headspace of LeBron being a Sixer, and it kind of just had to do with that basketball fit. Like, LeBron, I talked about this idea, I want to see LeBron succeed, but I want to see him succeed being LeBron. I want to see him succeed being a version of himself that kind of maximizes great shit. Man, 14 fouls, bro, come on. And that's why I looked at some of these other places, okay, LeBron at this point is still a great playmaking talent. The Lakers lineups when LeBron was on the floor by himself, when he was commanding the offense last year, were some of the Lakers' most successful groups. And so that's what had me thinking about Golden State and Miami in particular, because he would just be the secondary ball handler in both of those situations, as opposed to some of these other situations where he would struggle with usage. And I mean, we've all seen the tweets that have been going around in the last little bit. A lot of people are questioning whether or not the usage rates of all these guys kind of make sense fitting with each other. LeBron last year, 27% usage. Tyrese Maxey last year, 29% usage. BJ Edgecombe as a rookie, getting pick and roll reps, getting opportunities to attack. He was at 19% usage last year. Jaylen Brown, 35% usage, one of the highest usage players in the league last year. We know what it looks like when Joel Embiid is healthy and available. He had a 32% usage rate last year. So, like, it's definitely, like, kind of a clunky fit in that specific respect. And that's where I kind of want to start in terms of the framing of them as a contender. Because does that mean, the fact that they were all high usage players, does that mean that they can't play together? No, that doesn't mean that at all. What it does mean, though, is that it's going to be a challenge, meaning that there is a wider range of outcomes. Jackson made this point before. I thought it was really smart.
Bitch ass nigga.
The Knicks probably have the narrowest range of outcomes for all the different versions of themselves that they can be this year, right? Like, their ceiling is not astronomically high, but the floor is like, it's like right there by their ceiling. We just know what the Knicks are going to be. The Sixers certainly, with their talent, have a higher ceiling than the Knicks, but they also have a lower floor than the Knicks because of that wide range of outcomes, based on whether or not these guys actually fit together, based on these guys, whether or not these guys are able to piece together an offense that is greater than the sum of their parts, rather than lesser than the sum of their parts. And it really comes down to a couple of different things. So, LeBron James last year had a bad jump shooting season. I do think he'll have a better jump shooting season this year, but LeBron certainly is not a pure jump shooter, right? We talked about it at various points. Jaylen Brown was a 45th percentile spot-up player last year. He was not a good spot-up player. So, if this turns into we're going to run spread pick and roll with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, and Jaylen Brown and LeBron James are standing off the ball, and there's a lot of like dribbling the ball up the floor slowly getting into pick and roll, everyone else is standing around, then yeah, you're going to get diminishing returns there. Because now what you're doing is you're asking LeBron James for all the things he's great at to be a spot-up shooter. You're asking Jaylen Brown for all the things he's great at to be a spot-up shooter. It puts together a very diminishing return type of outcome for those guys. Same thing goes for, like, certainly when LeBron is looking to attack, Tyrese Maxey can shoot. He's a good spot-up player. But outside of a handful of very specific situations, if you are just running spread pick and roll, it's going to lead to diminishing returns. So how do you take advantage of the skill sets of all of these guys? In that universe, you have to take advantage of what each of their aggregate skill sets add up to. So you don't have a ton of jump shooting talent in that lineup, but what you do have is a lot of speed. You have a lot of size, like LeBron and Jaylen Brown are very physically imposing. They can beat people off the dribble, but you also have guys that can overpower people. And then you actually have quite a bit of aggregate, like, just offensive skill overall, like a combination of ball handling ability, playmaking ability, shot-making ability, right? So what you need to do with this group is get up the floor early in the clock. We'll talk about transition in a minute, but focusing on the half court, getting up early in the clock, so that you can have multiple attacks. One of the things we talked about a lot, if you guys remember, in the playoffs, was when you start to run into elite defenses, you don't necessarily quite frequently are playing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for their business.
And the LeBron James saga has finally come to an end. He's headed to Philly, joining the 76ers and forming one of the most talented teams we've seen in years. But how is this actually going to work? Does the fit make sense? And are they good enough to win a championship? In today's video brought to you by PrizePicks, we're going to break down everything. Starting with the fact that at the end of last season, LeBron showed us that he can still turn it on in spurts. Without Luka or Austin Reeves in the first round of the playoffs, he had to stare down a great Rockets defense and lead a cast of role players, to which he ramped up his usage, dictated the offense, and led the Lakers to a series win. It's clear that he still has a lot in the tank, but over the course of 82 games, or even multiple rounds, it's tough for him to carry a big offensive load. That's just what happens when you're 41 years old. That's where the Sixers come in. Tyrese Maxey and Jaylen Brown both more than fit the bill, not just because they're great on-ball creators who can shoulder the offensive burden, but because of their durability. When you've got two guys who can play big minutes and run the show, especially in the regular season, it puts Bron in a position to pick his spots. Every now and then you'll see him run the point, attack a mismatch, leak out for a fast break, but at no point should he be expected to really strain his body or overextend himself in order for Philly to win games. Come playoff time, he'll be as fresh as ever. With that said, though, it's not like he'll just be out there doing cardio. In that reduced role, he'll have to find ways to enhance the efficiency around the offense, especially in April and May. LeBron has molded himself into an incredibly dynamic football player. Last year, though, it seemed like his three-point shot had completely left it. especially off the catch. After arguably the two best outside shooting seasons of his career, he had his worst since joining the Lakers, only hitting 33% of his catch-and-shoot threes. This dip couldn't have come at a worse time. The Lakers were all in on Luka Ball, building their entire offense around his freshman role, which meant LeBron was asked to be a floor spacer. In typical LeBron fashion, he figured it out. He started taking less threes, leaned into his timing, straight line speed, and power to attack space off the catch. He took on a completely different role as a second side slasher, and because he's still such a great finisher and passer, there was a brief stretch towards the end of the season where he looked like one of the best connectors in the league. This particular skill set for a Luka-centric offense. Luka plays my house, bitch. He's hunting for the full three, stretches defenses 30 feet out, and doesn't need much space to get to the spots inside the arc. Most importantly, he's a top-tier playmaker who can anticipate the same openings that LeBron saw, make long-range passes to get the defense rotating, and create those opportunities for him to attack open space. That's a lot different from what we'll see with either Maxey or Brown. While neither are unwilling passers, they're both score-first ball handlers whose games are predicated on getting downhill. So the question is, how can Bron's second-side slashing be taken advantage of? And if the Sixers aren't able to find a way to take advantage of it, what other role can he play away from the ball? My mind immediately goes to using him as a screener. He's a big body who sets effective screens. He understands the role, and of course is a devastating downhill presence. You could even have him run sort of a supercharged Draymond role, operating in the middle of the floor and setting up action as the hub with the offense. The problem with that is Joel Embiid already occupies that space. Pretty much his entire game comes from the middle of the floor. If he's not the one isolating, he's the one screening. He's just always involved. You'll occasionally see him spot up on the three-point line, but that really limits his ability to influence the offense in a major way. And he can't really play from the dunker because he isn't a vertical presence. Hence, the offense always tends to revolve around his middle game. All that's to say, in order for this to work, LeBron's gonna have to thrive in that off-ball role. And I think it's really probably to get back to a higher level as a catch-and-shoot guy. But is his jumper gone, or was it just a down year? It's worth noting that he missed the first part of the season with sciatica, which resulted in radiating pain and stiffness to his lower back, hips, even down to his legs. You could see how that affected his jumper. It just wasn't as fluid. There's a chance that after a full offseason of recovery, he gets some of that juice back. There's also a chance that this is just who he is for the remainder of his career. The version of LeBron we see as a shooter could be the single biggest swing factor for this offense. If he can serve as a legitimate floor spacer while continuing to lead into his off-the-catch slashing and connected passing, this team is going to put a ton of pressure on the rim and consequently get to the free throw line at will. Even before LeBron got there, a downhill trio of Maxey, BJ, and Brown, alongside a big who pulls entire defenses into his orbit, good luck keeping them away from the paint. It really felt like the one thing they were missing offensively was a connected passer, somebody who could make tough decisions against higher-level playoff defenses and legitimately orchestrate a half-court offense. With LeBron, they struck gold. If Nick Nurse can implement the right offensive setups and actions while finding ways to utilize his all-time great passing, talent alone would make them one of the best offensive units in basketball. But it's not always that simple. Things could get really close.
So I'm at my grandmother's house and she had some interesting things. What is this? Butter churn? Ice cream. So now I think I'm going to try to figure out how to use this one for my next dinner party.
Coaches notice that extra effort. Here's Hastings. They set the pick. Pass to Baker. And it's going to be out of bounds. The bench will take it.
And I'm expecting lots of growing pains, because optimizing LeBron might not mean optimizing the entire roster. Remember, there's only one ball, and historically, stacking a bunch of creators doesn't work as well as stacking synergistic skill sets. At a certain point, it becomes redundant, and less can actually be more. That's one of my biggest worries with the way the Sixers have built their roster. Jaylen Brown is a ball-dominant player. Even during Boston's best years, most of his offense was either starting in high pick-and-roll setups or in isolation. Anytime he was reduced to spotting up, his impact wasn't felt to the same degree. Like I said earlier, Embiid's offense is predicated on creating space for him to operate in the middle. That can mean having him screen, start from the post, face up and isolate. Even after all of the injuries, he's remained one of the most imposing scorers on the planet. but he plays a very specific brand of basketball. Between those two, Maxi's pick-and-roll game and finding touches for LeBron, you don't want this to turn into a your turn, my turn situation where there's no consistency. With all of that said, though, I'm really intrigued by the idea of an offense built around locating a mismatch. Maybe this team's greatest superpower is how many matchup issues they create off rip. There are very few teams in the league with 4 defenders capable of matching up against their top 4. If your top 2 point of attack guys take Maxey and Brown, who guards LeBron? If your lineup is on the smaller side, who takes Embiid? You can't overlook the sheer offensive talent and the ceiling that comes with it. Everything just comes back to whether or not they'll have the space to take advantage. Don't get me wrong, they've got some shooters on their roster, and we'll get to that. But for now, I'm focused on the main 5. Over the past 2 seasons, Joel Embiid has been the highest volume catch-and-shoot guy, but he's only made 33% of it. Jaylen Brown's at about 34% on limited volume. He's not a real threat. To me, their spacing comes down to these 3 guys. What version of LeBron shows up? The 40% shooter or the 33% one? Can BJ remain in the high 30s while getting up to 5 attempts a night? Maxey is the only one I'm completely confident in, and that's because he's just a flat-out elite shooter. By nature of the way the roster has been built over the past few years, he's had to dominate the ball. Now he'll be in a position to play off of creation for the first time since they got rid of James Harden, which, in my opinion, comes with serious benefits, as well as some notable drawbacks. Let's start with the negative. Maxey is one of the most valuable turnover suppressors in the entire league, meaning he can carry a huge offensive load while taking great care of the ball, which in turn keeps his team's turnovers to a minimum. And that was a big part of Philly's identity. You don't get that same sort of signal with Jaylen and LeBron. In fact, they both turn the ball over at a decently high rate. By taking the ball out of Maxey's hands, they're going to turn it over. But the benefits may outweigh that, because in my opinion, he's one of the most dynamic off-ball players in the NBA. As a spot-up shooter alone, we're talking about somebody who can space the floor from well behind the three-point line, catch and shoot with a quick trigger, and make 40% of these shots, while being one of the most explosive drivers in the league. So get him attacking a closeout or slashing into open space, and he can completely break down the defense. What I think we're going to see more of in this upcoming season, though, is Maxey working off of screen.
My 401ks from old jobs were scattered. Probably like yours if you've ever changed jobs. But with Pension B, all my retirement accounts are in one award-winning app. I can see exactly how my account is performing with live progress.
Bron, he just smoked the shit out your shit.
To see if I'm on track. And Pension B even helps track down forgotten 401ks with access to over 270.
Damn, that nigga just went crazy on you, Bron.
Won in the NBA Finals. They won 73 games. They're one away from being crowned the greatest team of all time. And for the last 10 years, people have pointed to this comment that made before Game 5 as the moment that changed the 2016 Finals.
I mean, you know, it's a man's league, and people have feelings, and people's feelings get hurt, even if they're called a bad word. I guess his feelings just got hurt.
Yeah, one crosses the line.
No, I'm not. What did you say, Clay said?
Clay said, I guess he just got his feelings hurt.
Oh, my goodness.
The moment they woke up LeBron, supposedly. But in actuality, that press conference was just adding wood to a fire that was already burning inside LeBron's mind. Because 36 hours ago, LeBron had decided that the Cavs were not going to lose. That he was not going to lose again. What actually changed the finals was this on June 10th, right after Game 4. Tristan Thompson said, I think it was around midnight, 12:30. LeBron sends a text message. He says, listen, I know we're down 3-1, but if you don't believe we can win the series, don't come on the plane the next morning.
And if you know LeBron sent that text, don't come on that plane, don't think you can win. And Clay messed up by having that interview and saying it's a man's game.
Yeah.
You know, don't pump the bear now.
Now keep in mind that the Cavs had lost each game by double digits. And the responses, Tristan JR texted back, hell yeah, we're going to be there. But here's the thing, the text was just step one. Because the next morning on T-Bus, Bron turned into a fortune teller.
The media was so calm, Jay. When Bron was on that bus, and he was talking and saying, like, we beat them here. Then they might say, gonna be this, and this is gonna happen. And then we're gonna come back here and do this, and we're gonna come back here. We were here for game 7, and that's when we sent their ass home. We started getting quiet, and I seen everybody in their man kind of just go, yeah, that shit could happen, bro.
Bro, what? This feels like an unreal game.
Basketball type shit. Understand what the type smell. Down 3-1 in the NBA Finals, teams were 0-32 all time. Nobody had ever done it against anybody. And the Warriors were not just anything. This was a 7-3-1 team, the greatest regular season ever played. First MVP in history, Steph Curry, in 2 next 3 games in their Oracle Arena. An atmosphere players have said was possibly the loudest arena in NBA history. But for 5 years, the whole world had been telling LeBron James exactly who he was. And down 3-1, he was 1 loss away from proving them right. His legacy at that point was an all-time great who just couldn't get it done at the biggest stage. But that moment in 2016 changed the course of NBA history. And I'm going to break it down in 3 pieces because what happened should have been impossible.
What is up, these Let's Farmers players? It's your boy Jay. So we send a text and while LeBron was locked in non-belief, we have to go back to before he was an NBA champion.
2007 against the Pistons was LeBron's coming out party, dragging a team to the finals, but by 2010, LeBron was one of the best players in the world with no result. And so he made the decision. And within hours, the city that raised him is burning his jersey in the streets. Miami had a big 3 like we had never seen. LeBron became the most hated player in the NBA, the villain. For context, in January of 2010, LeBron had the highest positive Q score CBS had ever measured for an athlete. By September, he was the 6th most disliked sports figure in America, behind Michael Vick, and LeBron did not care.
Not 1 championship.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4.
So the entire 2010-11 season became a villain tour for every arena in the country. Leaving in hostile crowds in Portland to get louder death threats, calling themselves the Heels, alright then, and there was exactly one ending that could justify all of this. Overwhelming favorites, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, some of whom had been NBA champions. This was a no-brainer, and then the 2011 finals started. And so, big piece number 1, the world doubted LeBron, and for good reason. For some inexplicable reason, LeBron is not able to guard Jason Terry. And I mean, the Jet is ganked by LeBron with ease. Braun was aggressive, sometimes not even looking at the rim. I mean, what is this, bro? Take game 1 with Braun dropping 24, 9, and 5. And then game 2, Mike is a big team with 7 minutes left. Wade buries a 3 right from the Dallas bench and hoses. LeBron right next to him soaking it in. Wade had 36 for the game, carrying the Heat, but then... Still, LeBron has the ball here too, and he could hit the crucial shot to stop the momentum. He gets nowhere, and
it's so much more relaxed. And now that Evan is a junior in high school, I have flexibility to go and come back, check with him, and he's done it at a decent time of day after lunch. The experience has been really good.
LeBron's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. And so the ball is out of bounds. Wilkins touched it last.
This is the 30. Dallas closes on 20-5 run, and Dirk wins it on a lefty lane.
Drives, goes underneath, quickly, banks it in with 3.6 remaining. Miami out of timeouts, trailing by 2. James back to Wade. Wade puts it up for the win. Off the block.
Okay, that's just 1 game, and the Heat take game 3. They're up 2-1, and Dirk has a 101-degree fever for game 4. LeBron is going to win his first championship. LeBron was passive once again. Ben Simmons, is that you?
Nah, that's a 1-for-1.
If game third would come down to the wire, 19 seconds left, Mavs up 1, and third,
Drives underneath, laughing, puts it in!
while LeBron scored 8 points. 8 points despite playing 46 minutes. Man actually had a triple single. What? And before Game 5, instead of locking in after the worst game in his career, LeBron Wade walked past the cameras and shit around, coughing. Mocking the sick man who has won Game 5. Maybe don't poke the former MVP Dirk and back
Nowitzki trying to find some space. Top shot. Terry, good. Against Chavez. Oh, pretty good.
in Game 6, the Mavs went on. LeBron averaged 17 points a game, despite all the taunting, despite the proclamation. I guess everybody talks when they up. He never thought that this Miami Heat team could lose. But in 90 career playoff games, LeBron had never scored in single digits. He picked the NBA Finals to do it for the first time. In the first 5 games of that series, he had a grand total of 11 fourth-quarter points. 11 in several clutch games. In games decided by 2, 3 points. He was getting locked up by a 38-year-old Jason Kidd, a 5'10" JJ Barea? Bro, what?
And the fallout was incomprehensible.
This time, the media didn't just criticize it, they tried to build it. Time Magazine, not Stephen A. Smith, not Skip Bayless, goddamn Time, read it. Choked in the lines of the board. When Miami needed him most, he failed. Triple-double, he did. They called him overwhelming Pippin. And almost exactly that same piece called him the ultimate AU player.
Wow.
ESPN ran actual headlines asking if he needed a psychologist. Skip Bayless got on TV and delivered the line he'd been saying his whole life. The chosen one became the frozen one.
He wasn't even LeBron James. He was Alfred James.
You just know that Skip Bayless was so happy when he saw LeBron fail like this. Even NBA legends got in on him. Magic Johnson, when asked about Kobe versus LeBron, just said, Kobe, 5 championships, LeBron, 0. And this was just 2 months after the 2011 finals. Charles Barkley said, look where your ass at right now. You're at the bottom of the barrel again, just like everybody else. God damn. The reason Barkley said that was because LeBron really said,
all people are as room for me to fail. At the end of the day, they got to wake up tomorrow and have the same life that they had.
Never seen a superstar of LeBron's caliber have a meltdown like this. We described LeBron this summer as paralyzed in his own depression.
The same word that you can't do make a promise, people say that down pretty well. Simple. Good.
2012 was a revenge tour. 27.1 points a night and his 3rd MVP in 4 years. But they had to change it up if they were going to accomplish what they set out to do. And it started with Dwayne Wade doing something superstars simply don't really do, handing over his own franchise. Wade said it was probably one of the hardest things he ever had to do in sports. To say, go ahead, man, you're the best player in the world, we'll follow your lead. Keep in mind, Dwayne Wade is an NBA champion at this point, a Finals MVP. He has carried this franchise for years. That is leadership. And where those keys lead? June 7th, 2012, despite one of the greatest individual seasons in NBA history, the Heat are down 3-2 to the Boston Celtics, facing elimination to an aging Big Three. LeBron said himself years later,
If we lose, Pat Riley may break us all up. My legacy gonna take a huge hit when I'm out here and perform at an all-time high.
if he loses this, there's no coming back. So, will he rise the occasion or cower like last week? LeBron James walks into an extremely hostile building with the face that generations have put into their minds. Not the laughing, smiling LeBron from 1 year ago. No. It was something entirely different.
Hi, excuse me, Nick, hello. What if I told you I could get you some money right now? I would go. Okay, let's get out your...
And he gets to work. There is no shot that is a bad shot for LeBron. The wrong quick jumper, contested, difficult shot for James. All those can do it 3 people. It don't matter. He drops 45 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists on 19 of 26 shooting. 30 at the half, on the road in an elimination game, and nobody could have worried about 15-5 in the playoff game since Will Chamberlain in 1964. This was the LeBron everyone wanted to see. The one just said, F it, I'm going to will us to victory. Shane Battier still calls it the greatest game I saw anybody play, and the inflection point for his entire Hall of Fame career. Bleacher Report said he had raised a proverbial middle finger to his Spurs. They wanted to win Game 6 and Game 7 to make it back to the final against Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. But unfortunately for that baby 3, LeBron was not taking anyone lightly ever again. 28.6 points per game, 10.2 rebounds, and 7.4 assists, closing it out with a triple-double in Game 5.
And just like that, LeBron finally achieved his goal. Hakeem Olajuwon said, now all the critics can shut up. And LeBron recapped saying, the best thing that happened to me last year was us losing in the finals. I had to go through. Summer, we hate when quiet, but labels don't always get the lead. In the 2011 finals, the following for a long time to withstand.
And in 2013, LeBron had a near perfect regular season. MVP, 27-game winning streak, first team all defense, second in defensive player of the year. This is considered by many to be LeBron's physical prime, and he tried to run it back against an aging Spurs team, but this was a dogfight. Tim Duncan was 37 years old, but this Spurs team was some of the most beautiful basketball we've ever seen. We are down 3-2 in the series, and LeBron did not want to lose. He made bucket after bucket in the fourth quarter, 16 points. Finishing game with 30-10-11. Clutch shot after clutch shot, but still down 2. LeBron takes his 3.
James catches, puts up the 3. Won't go. Rebound back.
If that shot doesn't go in, LeBron would be 1-2 with the most overpowered team in history to that point. And in Game 7, it was a back and forth, but LeBron, not taking his newfound life for granted, went into another level, hitting every jump shot.
Game 6 3-pointer. It's good.
Back to contact games. Easily takes it up and gets down.
James. Watch it in.
7 points and 12 rebounds to seal back-to-back titles. This Game 7 is lost in the history books because of perhaps the greatest shot in NBA history. Back-to-back rings, back-to-back Finals MVPs. For 2 whole years, the Joker talk went quiet. The Heat were finally fulfilling their prophecy till 2014, which all leads to piece number 2. Winning is hard to sustain for anyone. It's a Spurs Heat rematch. But Game 1, the air conditioning breaks in San Antonio. It's 90 degrees on the court, and LeBron.
Hi guys. Well, Jamal Mosley was just reviewing the plan with his team. He seemed pleased with his team's performance, saying, quote, we're on track. We're doing everything right. Keep it tight out there, and let's take back the lead in this series. Back to you.
Allie, thank you so much. Well, that's only his first turnover of the game, but you know he'd like to have that one back.
hospitalized. LeBron goes 1 of 10 in overtime, and they lose. It looks bleak. Despite losing both Kevin Love and Kyrie, Braun refused to go down. His second best player at this point is Matthew Dellavedova, who gave so much of his body in Game 3 to guard Curry that he had to be hospitalized. Yeah, guard Curry is no joke. In Game 2, LeBron drops 39 points, 16 rebounds, 11 assists, 50 minutes, and the Cavs get the dub in the overtime win. In Game 3, 40, the Cavs are up 2-1 in a situation where everyone wrote him out. Braun is carrying this team. Uses right through the roof, nearly every possession.
This is LeBron that everyone wants to see, that I want to see. The one who just says, effort, I'm going to do it myself, and will let me hit it.
He might not be efficient, but it's getting the result done. LeBron gets shoved into a courtside camera and spits it back in his head. Luck right down his neck and comes back into the game to shoot the free throws. They took some food because his exact words to trainers were, "Don't staple my head." Watching these highlights back, it's kind of crazy to put into perspective how much LeBron had put the Cavs on his back. Yes, we talk about the 2018 Cavs, but 2015 Finals is no joke. But Steph Curry was also on a mission, dropping the most career points in every Finals game twice in the same series. The Warriors are the better team, and Steph is averaging 26 points a game, shooting 40% from 3, really Draymond Iggy of contributing, and with great coaching, they win Game 5 in a game where LeBron put up 20, 14, and 11. Over the asked him how he still feel confident down 3-2, and Braun just gave him an advance.
I feel confident to win the best player in the world.
The offense is LeBron. Damn, despite him claiming that
that was bullshit.
LeBron averaged 35.8 points, 32.3 rebounds, and 8.8 assists, became the first player in Finals history to lead both teams in points, rebounds, and assists. But it was another Finals loss. Braun was now 2-4. While he couldn't run up 2006,
let's go!
2015,
fucking crazy, bro. Let's go, Wall.
2011 and 2014 showed LeBron could be contained, but those have been beating him in the biggest moments. And over time, people only remember the fact that LeBron just lost more than he won.
Damn! Wait, bro, what the fuck?
Right? With Kyrie and Kevin Love, there's no way that this Cavs team would ever lose. And in 2016, the Cavaliers were an embarrassing team, but the Warriors went into another level. This was the most winning team in NBA history. Steph Curry had perhaps the single greatest offensive season in NBA history. Yes, we can look at players now and likely say that they had better seasons, but in the context of the league and how the Warriors were winning, Steph was barely playing in the third quarters. This is perhaps the greatest individual season we have ever seen. The Warriors and Cavs will meet in the finals for a second time of the series.
Well, I have to wait for the money that it's time to give it to me now.
With Permanent, access your pay as you work without waiting for payday. You can get up to $150 a day with a max of $1,000 between paydays. Download Earn It and access your pay now.
Nigga.
Game sets. And Cavaliers will take game one. Great shot there right in front of us. Curry from downtown, his third three-pointer for Golden State.
No, bag me. He need for bag me. He need career to work. He need to do music with me. Don't talk about me. That's the only way. Let us let's put it over. And y'all know. That shit ain't going nowhere. That shit ain't going nowhere. We're going to have to talk about 250 with strings. I'm waiting for you. This is what you want. You want me. He think we're going to stream and talk about him and play songs. No. He thought I was going to sit at the computer and talk about it. Why? That shit weak. What? And I ain't got no label. And I ain't got no label. That is 14 days to week. Man, listen, man, I'm not finna respond to that shit.
Let's go! I'm that fucking nigga! We out this bitch! Who the fuck this nigga thought he was? I'm that. Yo, shut up the fucking audience. They know who the fuck I was on the fucking. Yo, my nigga! Yo, get the fuck off me, son. You know who the fuck I be on the blizzy, nigga? Know my name, nigga. Fucking Blaze, nigga. I'm out here smoking niggas like a fucking pack of Newports, nigga. You know what the fuck I be? 9-5, nigga. 9-5, nigga. You know what the fuck is pop, nigga. Shout out to City, nigga. You know what the fuck is going down. We just want to check, nigga. Get these niggas the fuck out of here. Smoke dick, nigga.
You gotta get your groove on. That's just all they gonna do. Just dance to the shit and repeat lyrics, but they ain't gonna be talking about it. They won't talk about it. So now, the album comes, they gonna think you gonna diss more, which you should. You should diss more. And it's a good thing you ain't come too hard on this. Warm it up. You doing right. But shout out to Moneybag Yo, like, man, been working out, body in shape, got the top tier cars. The old lady, she a top tier chick. She getting her own money. Yeah. Be about your paper, man. Betty Skrilla scratch, man. Be about your paper, man. Betty scratch, man. Yeah, so everybody about that bread game shit over there, man. Bad been out the scene for a minute, man. Like, he been kicking his feet up. He got fat over there. You got a money over there. They getting a lot of paper over there. So he been chilling, but he letting niggas know he can still talk his shit. He's still popping it and shit. But you got some big spillers with this right here. Some people ain't digging it. She digging on the kid like she's a shovel. Some people digging it. Some people ain't. Some people saying same old flow. Some people, you know, they gonna with finesse because you gotta understand. Finesse doing something bad ain't doing. I can't say he can't, but he ain't. I don't think. See, Bad would lose if you try to take that streaming route, going against finesse, or try to become funny, he'll lose. That's not Bad Lane. Bad Lane is CEO boss. Finesse don't get the streets. So he gonna be more likable. He relate to us more. He on live every day telling us about everyday shit. Poor man meals, females, everything. Going broke, having money, all type of shit. So, man, you gonna always win the people. And you funny, so you gonna have females and males. So they gonna always finesse. So it don't matter what he do, they gonna say, Bad, you can't do that. So if Finesse Jack Bone Thugs on the beat like he did, they gonna tell Bad, but you can't do that. You can't write no good 16 on that. You gotta steal some Waukesha type shit. You know, they gonna say that. Which he ain't supposed to take no Bone Thugs on the beat. Why would you want to take a beat that's already a hit record? You gonna have to pay them. The song already structured, so you don't really get no pat on the back because you could just write a good 16 on that. But that's not no shot to Finesse. Finesse has to do that. He need to keep himself relevant because they playing games with him with the label. And this is where Bad can beat Finesse at when it comes to boss talk, talking heavy. Because nigga, you side to me. Like the last time we fell out, I was helping you. Every time we fall out, at the end of the day, I was helping you. Put money in your pocket. You from the